Peace to all the friends and family of my Nature's House Homestead YouTube channel, and peace to all my sugar lumps tuning in. I have such a great announcement and a story to share with you today. As you can see, I've had the baby. YouTube family, I know y'all didn't know that I was pregnant because I hadn't shared it, but guess what? Now I'm sharing. And to my sugar lumps, y'all recently learned about my pregnancy, and I gave y'all a brief birth story or pregnancy story / birth story. But now I really want to dive into the meat and potatoes of my pregnancy and how postpartum is going. And also, I want to introduce to you sweet baby Nalah. It was August of 2022. It was like around August 10th, I think, of 2022. And I've been having some back problems and some stomach problems. I thought I was dealing with IBS. And come to find out, I had an ectopic pregnancy, and mind you, it was ruptured at this time. I had internal bleeding of 1.5 liters in my abdomen. I had an abdomen full of blood. You know, I would use the bathroom and I would see that, oh, maybe, I'm fine. Then I would wipe my bottom thinking, oh, maybe it's IBS. Come to find out, no. It was, my fallopian tube that had ruptured. When my husband drove me to the ER, they did the ultrasound and they say, well, there's nothing in your uterus. However, we've got to rush you right into surgery because you have a ruptured fallopian tube. And I was in shock because I had no idea I was pregnant. You know what I'm saying? All I knew is I was having back and stomach pains. Thought it was IBS. Never would have thought it was pregnancy because I didn't have any pregnancy symptoms. It was just the furthest thing from my mind. You feel me? And so that was a shocker. But one thing that I can say, if you are having some abdominal or back pain and you don't really know what it is, if you start having shoulder pain, that means you have internal bleeding, because that's one of the telltale signs of internal bleeding. So I rushed into surgery. They removed the fallopian tube. Now I only have one fallopian tube. Here I am thinking, oh my gosh, I lost a part of myself, which I have. And I'm thinking that I'm not going to be able to produce babies like I was before. You know what I'm saying? I thought that my birthing years were cut short or probably over. Because when you go through your sex and reproduction class in middle school, or is it high school, one of them schools, they tell you about how you have two fallopian tubes and about how when the sperm travels down the fallopian tubes into the uterus, they have to choose the fallopian tube. And so when you don't have two fallopian tubes, I was thinking, how am I going to get pregnant as fast as I was getting pregnant back in the day? You feel me? Little did I know, you only really need one fallopian tube to get pregnant. So I have the surgery and everything was good, I came home and I was like, I feel great. Let me make some dinner for everybody. Wrong. I shouldn't have done that. What I should have done was lay down. When you just have a major surgery, you can't do what you would normally do. You have to rest. And that's one thing I didn't do. I don't think it hurt anything in my healing process, but I'm just saying, give yourself grace and take the break. After I had my follow-up appointment with my gynecologist, she told me that I needed to take pregnancy tests every other week to ensure that I was not pregnant. So I was doing that. And it was almost time for me to take my pregnancy test, but something said, go ahead and take it early. So I ordered my box of pregnancy tests from Amazon. I mean, clear blue is cool and all, especially for the first time moms. But when you're on your fourth, so you think pregnancy, go ahead and get the box of pregnancy tests with the strips. You'll be good. You'll know if you're pregnant or not. But I got one of the strips out and I peed in a little cup, dipped it in there, and I took it out, put it on the counter, waited, and I looked and I said, I know you effing lying. I said, ain't no way. I just had surgery 5 months ago. How am I pregnant? I just said it would be nice to be pregnant again. How am I pregnant? Something about manifesting what you really want, huh? Be careful what you ask for. You just might get it. Yeah, it came out pregnant. So I come to the kitchen, my husband's in the kitchen at the time. I said, babe, I'm pregnant. See me, I don't know how to just spring it lightly upon my husband when I'm pregnant. I just gotta come out and tell him, okay? And that's how I've been doing. So I said, might as well give it to him raw. I've been doing it. He'll adjust, and he did. I love you, babe. This story is one that needs to be shared and it needs to be heard. I found out I was pregnant in February of 2023. And then I got the news in May of that same year that my first doula baby had passed away. That was the first hardship that I had experienced during this pregnancy. Losing Liana, baby Lily, rest in peace, baby Lily. Losing her was very hard because I'm trying to keep it together, you know, seeing someone come into this world and then knowing that they take their last breath, especially at a very young age. She was only around 9 months. I took it hard. But what's crazy about that situation is that one day I was just sitting in the bed. It was the day before I found out she had passed away. I was sitting in bed, pregnant, and I got this overwhelming feeling of baby Lily, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm just so grateful that her mother chose me to be in the room and to help bring her, earthside. And I'm so glad that, you know, that baby loved me and I loved their family. I just had an overwhelming sense of joy and peace and gratitude. That was the day baby Lily passed away. The very next day, I saw on social media her mother had announced that baby Lily had transitioned. And that was a very sad day. I wasn't able to make it to his funeral. The night before we were supposed to leave to go to Illinois for his funeral, the toddlers, my two youngest, they came down with a fever, just spontaneously. And I'm like, what the world? So I had to cancel all of our travel arrangements, and I had to call my mom to say, Mom, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be able to make it. I had to reach out to his daughter and say, cousin, I'm so sorry that I'm not able to make it to Uncle Claudie's funeral. Just know that I love you, and I'm sending my condolences and my love and my prayers of support. I started losing family member after family member after family member. By the time baby was born, I had lost 8 loved ones. Now get this, the day of my baby shower, August 13th, the day where, you know, we were supposed to celebrate, you know, bringing a new life into this world, was the day that I lost an uncle who was like a father to me, my Uncle Gary. Uncle Gary passed away, 30 minutes before the baby shower began. How is that possible? How is that possible? And out of all things, why? Why him? Why now? You know what I'm saying? I was supposed to see him in 30 minutes. Instead, I get a phone call saying that Uncle Gary has passed away. How I kept it together at the baby shower, I still don't know. All I know is I'm resilient. So even though my Uncle Gary is gone from this earth, he is still with me. His spirit is still with me. And that gives me great hope. And that's one thing that I really leaned upon, you know, with all of these deaths that I experienced during my pregnancy. But I made it through, child. Resiliency, you can be resilient in pregnancy. You gotta be resilient in pregnancy. Because let me tell you, stress, the baby feels it. The baby feels it, and I'm a living testament of being pregnant with a child, experience a multitude of stress, and the baby being born. Let me tell you, it's doable, but if you can avoid stress by all cause, and that's what I did. If it weren't for mindfulness, I wouldn't have this glow, sis, and it's not just the makeup. Because when I take this makeup off, I still got the same glow. If it weren't for mindfulness helping to lead the way, I wouldn't be where I am today. And that's real talk, no cap. Because mindfulness reminded me that, hey, Lacey, you got a baby growing inside you. You can't go down that rabbit hole. You got to get it together. And that's exactly what I had to do. I felt it, released it, and I moved forward. That's what mindfulness helps us to do. And then labor starts. So about 2 weeks after August 13th, I was 37 weeks pregnant. And that was when the prodromal labor started. Now, ladies, Don't let anybody tell you that prodromal labor is not real, because it is. Those contractions are real, okay? And if you ask me, it's pre-labor. So prodromal labor to me equals pre-labor. And I was in pre-labor for 2.5 weeks. Yes, it got miserable at times, but after that first 5 days, I was like, you know what? These aren't going anywhere, so I might as well just start to cope with it. So I would ignore them. During this time, one thing that helped was my mother coming to take care of the children. And she allowed us, me and my husband, to go out on dates. Like, childcare is the best thing ever, especially when childcare is provided by family members that you love and trust. But shout out to my mom for her love and support, and my brother Joshua for his love and support for holding it down. And then we had our family date, and our last family date, it was crazy if you ask me, because it was like after the family date, everything just went by. It just started happening so fast. So it was a Friday. It was a Friday, and I woke up and I was like, babe, I don't feel like cooking. I want to go out to dinner tonight. So I was like, you know, let's go on a family date. Let's go to our favorite Mexican restaurant and let's have a good time. This will be our possibly be our last time as a family of 5. So we went out on the date, the family date, and our favorite waitress, she was like, oh, you're still pregnant. I said, yeah, who are you telling? Having contractions every day, all day for 2.5 weeks at this point. And I'm like, yeah, I am. But hopefully next time you see me, I won't be pregnant anymore. So we went to our Mexican restaurant. It seemed like we had one side of the restaurant to ourselves, the dining side. So we had ourselves a booth, and the children, they were, you know, just having a good time, enjoying themselves. They got to order what they wanted to eat, got their favorite sodas. Child, you would think they had something else in their sodas, the way they got into the halls and started dancing on the aisles and started dancing and just owning the floor. But it was a nice experience. So after we ate, we walked to the grocery store that was next to it. I was like, child, let me get this exercise in, because anything to help bring this baby closer, I'm gonna do it. So I got out and I was like, let's go ahead and walk. So we walked to the grocery store, and I said, let's go ahead and get us some dessert. So we got some ice cream with some ice cream cones, and then we met this young lady. She was our cashier, and she had on this necklace with a pendant. And my husband was like, that's a pretty necklace you have. She said, that's my twin brother. And I felt the urge to tell her, like, talk to him, speak to him, you know? And before that, when we were at the restaurant, I thought about my daughter, Diana. She's not my biological daughter. She's my adopted daughter. Took her under my wing. She passed away when she was 18 years old in a car crash. No, 17, in a car wreck. And I felt her presence at the Mexican restaurant, and just coincidentally, she's Mexican, crazy. But I felt her presence, and I was just like, if she were here, she would love this baby so much, and she'd love all of our children, because those are her siblings, you know? We left the grocery store, and then we started back walking to the car. And I looked up in the sky, and I was like, wow. I said, there's only one star in the sky, and it was a full moon that night. I said, there's only one star in the sky. And I told my husband, I said, that's baby Quad, because that's what we call the baby, because I didn't know the baby's gender. Only my husband and my eldest son knew, and my mom knew. And so I didn't want to know, because I wanted a surprise gender birth, you know? So I was like, babe, that's baby Quad. He was like, yep, it is baby Quad. And then when we got home, it seemed like the moon got closer to me and the star was gone. Okay. And then I was just like, okay, I guess the moon is saying, you know, let's have a baby tonight. Little did I know, the moon was really telling me to let's have a baby tonight. So we were chilling. I had the toddlers in the bed with me, and my son was in his room, because we had cleared out the baby's room, because my mom, you know, she was coming and staying, because with prodromal labor, we didn't know when was going to be the day. So we had to blow a bed in the sitting room with the baby's beds, which was great because I ended up giving birth in the baby's room. perfect. The babies are sleeping, me and my husband's bed, and everybody goes to sleep. It's around midnight, okay? Everybody lays down. And then it was like 1:40. I wake up because I'm like, oh. And that woke me up out of my sleep. I got my husband, I said, babe, I think it's time. And then when I went to the bathroom, might be TMI for some people, but I gotta share it with you. I went to the bathroom to go pee. Lo and behold, I had lost my mucus plug and I was starting to spot. So baby quad was bearing down and I said, oh yes, it's go time. So around 2:30 came, well actually 2 o'clock came, and I started having the contractions back to back. That's why I'm saying like that prodromal labor was pre-labor child. Because let me tell you, when they started, they did not stop, and they got closer and closer and closer. I was in labor for 2.5 hours. So as I was saying, the contraction started coming back to back, and I was like, okay, so maybe I have a few minutes in between this contraction. Let me try to make some cinnamon rolls, because I told the babies I was gonna make cinnamon rolls for breakfast the next day. I didn't think I was gonna have the baby anytime soon. So I said, let me just continue as normal, child. So I'm over here stirring the water and the brown sugar together, and I'm just like, oh, I can't do it. And my husband was like, babe, let it go. And so I let it go. I'm trying to walk to get on the yoga ball, and I had to get on my hands and knees before I could get halfway to the sitting room because I was on another contraction, child. And I'm just like, oh, wait, I gotta call my mom. So I called my mom like 5 times. She did not answer because this woman was asleep in the tub. Here's why, because she was on her way home from her sister's house, and she had felt in her spirit that I was gonna call her. She's like, if it's any night, Lacey's gonna call me tonight because a baby is on the way. Lo and behold, the baby was on the way, and I called. And she said she heard her phone ringing, and by the time she got out of the bath, because my brother, he had came and he was like, Mom, we gotta go, because I had ended up calling my grandma. If anybody gonna answer, Martha Ann, aka Gugu, my grandma gonna answer, because she was like, I didn't know who would be calling me at 2 a.m. so I answered it anyway because I thought it was urgent. You gotta love our senior citizens who care about people. And this, my grandma, she cared about me, child. She cared about all her grandchildren, her great-grandchildren. But on that night, I know she cared about me because she called the number back. And I told her, I was like, Gugu, I'm in labor. Please tell my mom so y'all can be on your way. So she woke up my brother Josh, and Joshua went to my mom's room and said, Lacey's in labor. My mom got here within 2 hours, 45 minutes before baby made her grand entrance. Had she have waited any later, or had they not have gotten up and left right when they did, she would have missed this whole opportunity to see her 4th grandchild come earthside. Oh, and then I called my sister friend Teek, who is actually Nalah's godmother. I called her and I was like, sis, it's time. I need you to make your way. And she made her way. She was here a good 30 minutes before my mom got here. I just needed to have that support here because things are different from this free birth than from my last free birth. The last free birth, I only had 2 children. This free birth, I had 3. Oh, the times have changed, okay? And so we needed some extra help because let me tell you, when you're birthing, you need that support of your spouse. If it weren't for my husband to be there and not have to be worried about the children and, you know, getting this and getting that, it would have been more difficult for me because come to find out, baby Nalah was sunny side up. That's why it was so painful for me because I was like, I have never experienced birth feel this painful. And it's because baby was sunny side up. We moved from the sitting room back into the baby's room. And I was listening to my playlist. Like I built a whole playlist of all the jams that I had loved throughout my pregnancy. And that main song, So Lucky by Tish Hyman. Let me tell you, I'm gonna link that down in the description. You gotta listen to that song. That song really helped me with mindfulness and staying mindful. You know, just being grateful for everything that I have and just my life as it is right then and there, as I know it. So I listened to my songs and they were helping me, child. And I was in throes of labor, just breathing it out, child. Because all that other yelling and stuff, if you do it, good for you, sis. But that's not what I do. I like to be silent. I thrive off of silence. And I just wanted to be silent and enjoy, each moment and really just embrace the situation for what it was. Because let me tell you, labor is just that, it's work. And you got to put in that work to get a sweet bundle of joy in your arms. Okay? The throes of labor, child, just contractions back to back, threw up one time, and then I'm about to throw up the second time. And it was after that second time I threw up, I said, I'm going to transition. This baby is about to come out. That's what I just said out loud. And that's what happened. And so I get on my hands and knees, and then I'm just like, ooh, let me see if I can do what I did the last time. So I put my leg up on my yoga ball. My husband was like, nah, babe, put your leg down. He said, try to get on all fours. So I got on all fours. All praises for intuitive man, okay? Because he knew what I needed to do to bring this baby through, you know what I'm saying? And I did just that. And so I got on my hands and knees after, following my husband's instructions. And after 2 pushes, or should I say 3? Let's say 3. I think it's safe to say 3. After 3 pushes, she was here. First push, I'm pushing with a contraction. So I'm like, ugh. And then between the contraction, it feels like she's coming back up. I'm like, no, what are you doing, baby? I was like, what are you doing? You need to go down, not back up. My second contraction, her head came out. Third contraction, her body came out. And when this baby came out, she was sitting up. So I told you she came sunny side up. So normally the baby's back is supposed to be against your back. Okay, when the baby comes out, they're supposed to be looking up. My baby was coming out looking down. She was looking backwards because her spine was against my belly and her face and arms and knees and legs was against my spine. So you do the math. For all the birthing women who've experienced childbirth before, you know how it feels, especially without epidural. You know how it feels when a baby comes out normally. When a baby comes out sunny side up, it's the normal sensation amplified times 10 because baby is not in the normal position. So she comes out, and Teak, I know you're watching this. You said it was a girl before I knew it was a girl. Shame on you, but I didn't let that ruin my moment. I love you, sis. But I was like, let me see what she is. And I got to see myself. And I was like, oh, it's a girl. I was like, oh, Asha has a sister. And then my husband, he had said that he picked a name for her. So I'm like, what's her name? And he said Nalah. And he told me the meaning of it. Successful. But this little baby, a lot of odds were stacked up against her. But she made it. And on top of, having the one fallopian tube, I had a subchorionic hemorrhage, and I'm glad I didn't have any complications with that. So she's born, I find out where she is, I'm crying, I'm happy, and I'm grateful that my mom was there because I got to hold my mom's hand while I was pushing. Now mind you, this woman has had 5 babies, and she said to me, it's nothing like you see in the movie. I'm like, ma'am, you had 5 babies naturally. You know how I feel. But at the same time, I don't believe in squeezing stuff like that because it don't do nothing for me. It don't. It was just the support of me being able to hold her hand that really helped me. And so we go into the bathroom, and then my husband, he's already started the herbal bath, and I was able to sit down. Let me tell you, being able to stand up and walk to the bathroom after birthing the baby, that was the most relief I have ever felt. But the most relief of not being pregnant anymore was delivering that placenta. Now, before I delivered the placenta, after the baby was born, I expelled some blood clots. And come to find out, those were the clots from the subchorionic hemorrhage. With the subchorionic hemorrhage, you can either bleed out, and it doesn't hurt the baby or hurt the mom in most cases, or the blood is retained. And in my case, the blood was retained, and after birth, the clots from the subchorionic hemorrhage came out. And then after about 10 minutes in the bath, I was able to just sit up and just push a little bit, and the placenta came out. And the feeling to not be pregnant again, well, but that to not be pregnant anymore, that's how I felt. No words. It's a feeling. No words can express it. But I was just so happy to finally meet baby Quad, and to know that she's a girl, and to know that she's healthy and happy and beautiful. And I'm just so grateful she's here, and it's time for y'all to meet her. She is our sweet baby, the 4th that I have birthed out of my womb, but the 7 that me and my husband have together. Together we have 7 children, and she's number 7. So this is baby Quad. It's baby Nalah, wearing her sweet little Nalah outfit that her auntie Dominique got her. It is just the cutest little thing. It's baby Nalah, and she has the headband. It is just so sweet. But this is her. Isn't she perfect? Yes, she is. This is her. I call her a mindful baby. And when I tell you she's so chill, she is so chill. She's got to be the chillest baby that I've birthed. And let me tell you, you might be thinking to yourself, you didn't give birth in the hospital. How do you have this hospital blanket? That's because they sell them on Amazon, child. You can get 5 in a pack for $5. It's essentially $1 per blanket. And I'm so grateful I was able to have my second Lotus FreeBirth. I'm grateful to be able to talk about it. And I hope you enjoy the footage that we were able to catch. Thank you, Sister Teak, for catching the footage of Nalah being born earthside, and thank you for taking the pictures that you took. And thank you for watching this video. Thank you for taking time out of your day to hear my birth story and to meet baby Nalah. And let me know if this birth story inspired you to do your own research and to try free birthing. Let me know what you think. And also, if you're new to this channel, I invite you to subscribe, because guess what? We're a homesteading family unlike any other, and we want to take you along on the ride with us. And also, if you're on Facebook, make sure you follow us, and make sure you follow me, Queen Muva, Mrs. Lacey Taylor, the melanated millennial homemaker. Your favorite sis with the freeform locks and the tattoos who be baking bread. Yeah, that's me. But until next time, balance, love, and light, and peace. All right, so make sure you click that link. It's in the comments, well, in the description. And you can get everything you need for a free birth. You don't need all those other things that you be seeing. Like, this is my second free birth. I know what you need. And it's the bare minimum, really. So you can check my Amazon store, because they're in there. All the things you'll need for an unassisted home birth is in our Amazon store.